Good morning, everybody, and the guest. So I'm back finally in the US. I was in Iceland for a week, but now I'm back. So, Dr. Lucy Andrews, we were just talking about just a second before we came on how you don't live all the time in the US.
That is correct. I live part of the time in France and in a small rural village in the southwest of France. And I work here part time doing brain health, brain activities, memory screening, all those kinds of things when I'm not in California.
Wonderful. So do you do that for the expatriate community, or are you also supporting the French community there as well?
Both.
Wow.
Both.
So you're bilingual or you speak both languages?
Yes, albeit
Ah.
I don't know, many French might say, no, you don't, but I try. I
Oh,
try.
no, yes. Well, those of us who didn't grow up with it from childhood will always be trying. That's just our mother tongue is not that mother tongue. And so there's a
Right,
little bit of language barrier there with rhythm, if nothing else.
right. But it is very good for your brain, so I keep at it.
Ja, ich kann ein bisschen Deutsch sprechen. And,
Very
and
good.
j'ai préféré pommes frites
Ah,
from seventh grade. That was my seventh grade French.
yeah, me too. I prefer them too.
So, but we're getting together not because of where you live part of the year or even where you live the other part of the year, which is California,
Correct.
but instead because of what you've chosen to do.
Right. Yes. And I'm
And
so
it's super
appreciative.
exciting. I just did a series on how do you fill a day, and it's feel purposeful, have fun, take care of your body and your brain, and get rest and restoration, and limit how much waiting time there is in your life. So you have a
Perfect.
book because of your background that says, yeah, it's really hard to figure out how to do that when someone's living with brain changes. And you're not a recreational therapist, an occupational therapist, you're not a an
Cruise
engagement,
director.
you're not a cruise director, you never did a coach on a soccer team. I mean, you weren't one of those people. You never taught. It's not, but all of a sudden you're being asked not only to figure out schedules, but to figure out how to have someone try do something and balance it and make it fun. But you just look at the cover of the book. Okay, so let's look at the cover of the book because I think that says a lot. Whoa, that's super cool. So joyful
Great.
memory moments unlocked. And I love that you went moments, not memories. Joyful moments unlocked with 52-week dementia activity book. But
Yes.
here's the cool part. It is not like week one, do this, week two, do this, week three. I mean, it's not built that way. It's built in a really functional and flexible way. So talk to us. Talk to us about what you did and why you did it.
Okay. Well, thank you again. Thank you so much, Tipa. I really appreciate being able to talk to you about this. I'm so excited. And so, for me, as a nurse, I'm a nurse by background for many, many, many years. I had a home care agency for many of those years. And one of the things that came up a lot between both our professional staff and the families that we were being paid by to care for their loved one was, what do we do all day? What are you doing? Sometimes families would come in and go, they're just sitting in front of the TV all day, constant. So,
Much money I'm
as
spending, and they're not doing anything with mom. I mean,
exactly,
I want them to do something with mom. Well, what would mom like to do?
exactly
I don't know. I don't have any idea, but somebody should do something.
right, somebody should do something. So
Yeah.
I thought, well, okay, I can do something about that because it's really hard, whether it's your loved one or you're caring for, in a professional relationship as a professional care provider, to come up with something to do for hours on end for anyone. And especially if, we have someone that maybe isn't as easy to engage or would just as soon look out the
They're
window.
changing. I
So,
mean, I what I used to be able to do, I can't do. My interests aren't my interests anymore. I don't want to do that. I've done that. No, I'm not. No, go away. So it's
Right,
easy to feel frustrated, and it's hard sometimes to feel prepared to do this and how to initiate
right,
it. So, yeah,
right.
talk. So then you experienced that both as a owner of a home care agency, but also, you were helping people undoubtedly,
Absolutely.
and it was like
Absolutely. Yeah.
it's well, it turns out actually to keep people safe, if you engage them, it keeps them safer than if they have all this free time, they don't know what to do because sitting in front of a TV isn't actually safe.
Right. On many
It
levels.
diminishes abilities. Just sitting there
Yes.
diminishes abilities.
Yes, exactly. And that's kind of the whole goal. I think, when you look at current research, it's about maintaining kind of whatever level a person is at to maintain it as long as possible before we see a dip and then another potential plateau.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's really important, right, to be able to come up with something not just once, but
No,
on a
it can't.
regular
Yeah, it
basis.
can't be like, oh, my favorite. I like fold the napkins. It's like, I can guarantee you, I am happy to do that for a short window of time. We better come up with some other things, or you're going to
Ex-
get a refusal before too long. I mean, like,
exactly.
all right, that's enough. I'm done with the napkins already.
Right.
You need to hire somebody if you're having this many napkin issues.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So for me, I started thinking about what would be an easy way, kind of almost like a cookbook for activities that people could mix and match depending upon preference, depending upon their own history. Say someone, really had a traumatic experience about World War II. So that may not be the week that you want to delve into when we're talking about Armistice Day or Veterans Day. So it's easy to just flip to another week and say, okay, here's activities for this week.
Yeah. So it's not like sometimes like people get wedded to the calendar and it's like Christmas in July works fine if we don't care. I mean, we're going to sing Jingle Bells in July. It's like okay, and maybe we won't do the 4th of July because somebody had lost a life during that time or something. It could
Ex-
be a personal, it could be generic, it could be, but be
right.
thoughtful. I mean, before we get started thinking, okay, who is this person? Who've they been? Who am I?
Mm-hmm.
Because we don't need to do things that are not healthy for either one of us,
Right.
but we do need
Right.
to do things that are healthy for both of us.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I looked at having a theme each week and then different activities. So even within a week, if you wanted to stay with that theme, but you didn't like a particular activity, you could say, okay, well, we're just going to do this activity instead. Some are inside, some are outside, some are very active, some are very quiet. And so you can really use them to kind of guide the week, but also read your audience,
Yeah,
basically.
exactly. So today's not a good day. It's not one of
Right.
my best days. I'm really having a hard time today. Well, then let's look at how you could take that activity and tone it down to some of the quieter activities to see if we do something quiet and simple, does it then set me up to get ready to go do something? I mean, I just
Right.
need a slow start.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. And I think the other piece is that, all the activities I researched and based them on really science, very strong scientific um, experience that those particular activities, whether it is engaging outdoors or whether it is cooking a simple meal or chopping a vegetable, all those things help our brain and specifically for people with dementia. So each week is kind of based in science and research that gives you, as the person who's doing this activity, a little insight into why it's valuable, why it's important. It's not just, oh, we're going to, you know, make a picture of a fish today. No, we're, and so it gives you a little bit of understanding when you, as the provider or the family member, go into that activity of what we're trying to do, why this
What's
would
the
be
point of it?
important.
What's the purpose? Yeah. And
Exactly.
so for the person who's trying to support the activity, it's not just here, do this. It's ooh, now, Lucy, you probably noticed I have a painting up here.
Right.
A pretty color. I mean, and then there was another one that's up over here. And
Right.
now, just by looking at them, you think they were done by the same person or somebody different? What you thinking?
I would say different.
Different. So if you were going to paint something, would you be more likely to want to do something like this or more likely to do something like that?
Probably the second.
The second one. Ah, okay. So a little more creativity there, huh?
Yeah, could
Yeah.
be.
Maybe the colors or something else. So what I'm doing is I'm leading into this activity, not here's the paintbrush, here you go, Lucy. It's really I'm trying to
Right.
find out about you as we're moving to this to figure out, okay, how can we make this a successful activity for Lucy? And I
Right.
gave her a chance to use the front part of her brain. I had her do a comparison and then select what she preferred. And then I said creative, and she said maybe. And I said, oh, colors maybe. So I'm actually scoping out Lucy's interactions with me, but also using part of her brain that actually isn't the fine motor skill thing that you might be thinking about. And so,
Right.
I mean, that's the thing that we always encourage is this is more than a one step only kind of phenomena. We aren't just saying throw this in front of somebody, see if they'll do it. I mean, that's
Right.
not what you're doing, and that's not what we do because we know better. We know that that
Right.
actually tends to turn people off, and we get more refusals that way
Right. Right.
and more frustration
Yes. On everybody's part.
on everybody's part.
Right, exactly, exactly. And so I think it's so important to understand because I think it also helps us derive more meaning from that interaction with my loved one, my family member, or my client, that we create that bond. I learn a little bit more about you. And well, oh, you like to paint this way versus this way. And so it it and then we can go off to the races about you
Yeah,
remember to, do you ever remember seeing a painting that you really liked and where was that, and so off you go. And
off we
that's
go. Yeah.
the whole piece. It's not about making the picture or
No.
cooking
I
the
mean, whether or
soup.
not that person ever picks up a paintbrush, I might be the one doing it and them complaining about how incompetent I am. I mean, but
Exactly.
we're engaging. And I think but if for somebody who never engaged, I mean, I couldn't even get them to do anything. I mean, telling me I'm not a good artist, we're engaging. I mean, I'm okay with that because it's like,
Right.
so you would probably do this, but are you not at least appreciate good art? And I'm not one. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you.
Right. But so, and if it's not art, it's something else.
Right.
Have you ever, whatever
This
it
is
is,
interesting. You know how they
it's,
make these pens. Look at this one. This is one. Check this out. It has certain parts to it. All pens seem to have some parts that have in common. Did you notice that, Lucy?
yes, I did.
Yeah. So, because almost all of them, you have to do the click thing. It
Right.
seems to have, what would you call that? A catch or a thing that it hooks on, would you say?
Yes.
Yeah.
I
And
don't know
then
what I'd call it.
I'm not sure what I'd call it either, but when you click, it pokes the thing out, and then when you click it again, it releases it. Isn't that interesting?
Yes, that is
Wonder how that
fascinating.
works.
Let's
You know
take it
what?
apart.
Let's go online and find it. Let's go see if we
Yeah,
can figure it out.
right. Perfect. Right.
Yeah. So what we're playing around with, what we're talking about is the kind of thing I do spontaneously. But remember, I have 45 years of work with people living with brain change, and I'm an occupational therapist, and I've taught and worked in universities all over the place, and I've worked in research So Lucy and I have a background that allow us to sort of like go, here we go, and off to the races. But that may not be your background. And all of a sudden, you've got somebody or a group of somebody you're supposed to do something with, and it feels pretty overwhelming for people. Um,
Right.
and then we give up easily or we get frustrated. And that's what this book is designed to have not happen. So that's
Exactly.
super cool. And even starts with the cover. Show the cover again. I love the cover. I mean, it's
Thank
just so
you.
so pretty. But it also is
It
based
is.
on the brain. I mean, so you
Yes.
use that brain and you did a good job of creating that brain. Um, and so we're really excited to have people take a look at this and see if it's helpful. And when they go to the site, because there's your website, and
Yes.
which is, say it out loud for folks,
BrainGuardSystem.com.
Brain Guard System. Yep.
Yes.
Dot
Yes.
com. And then there's also the book is available on Amazon. It's available at Barnes and Noble, and those links are there too. Um, and there are other places you could get it as well.
Right.
But you can
Absolutely.
look online, take a look at the website, and you'll get to see some bits and pieces there so that you get a chance to look at it before you purchase. But we recommend this book because it
Oh,
has good stuff for people.
that's great. And that's my whole goal was really to come with something that would help both my staff as they struggle. We used to have a client years and years ago, and all he would do is sing. He would never answer you in any, in any speech, but he would sing la 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 all the time. And I would go and I think, oh, my poor staff. He was very happy and they would communicate, but I thought, oh my gosh, 8, 10 hours, and we were there around the clock. It was back in
Yep.
those old days where you were in there.
Yep.
And I would be like, oh my goodness, what do you do? And so over the years, I started seeing this more and more, and stories came, and we were trying to figure out, what do we do? What do we
Yeah.
do with people that makes this not just, I'm not there just to give you a bath and make sure that you don't
You
go
don't
out
go
in
out
the
the
street
door and you
by
don't,
your,
if you fall, we find you. I mean, it's
exactly,
not just babysitting. This is not babysitting. This is
right,
not, this is
exactly,
not just managing somebody. This is filling somebody's life. I mean, we view this as an opportunity for both of us to feel better about what we do. I mean, for both
right,
of us. Yeah.
right, right, exactly. And to have some fun, life is way too serious. And I think when we have a diagnosis and a disease progression like this, life can get really heavy
Yes.
and feel very overwhelming to everyone, to the people that have this disease that are going through it, but also to their loved ones and even their professional care staff who they have a relationship with. It gets pretty daunting sometimes, and we all need a little support. So in this book, I also put each month a little area for the caregivers so they can have a minute to say, wait, oh, yeah, I need to also care for myself in this process.
All this have I enjoyed this month. Maybe I deserve just a little bit more for me.
Right.
Just a little bit. There you go.
Exactly.
Cool. Well,
Exactly.
well, Lucy, thank you so much for coming on. Thanks for doing the book. I mean, I mean, that was a labor of intense love because that is a lot of work. 52 weeks is 52 weeks. That's a lot of weeks.
It is a lot of weeks.
It's a
It
lot
was
of
like
weeks.
I said, I birthed it.
I know. I was going to say, wow, elephants and you. That's how long that takes.
Yeah. Well, I sure appreciate it, Teepa.
You're welcome.
You are such a forerunner in this whole area and have been for so many years. So it's just such a pleasure to get to connect again. And I really appreciate you looking at the book, and I really hope it helps.
I certainly hope so. For those of you out there who are looking for a resource, whether it's for an agency or for yourself, take a look because we think this has value. We think it's going to do the things that we've talked about in a way that supports both you and the person you're or the people you're supporting. Till next time, take care with your care and take care of yourself. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Lucy.
Bye bye. Thank you.